Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome in. I hope everybody's doing well. I am having a most amazing day. I'm grateful for this day, January 10th, 2024. I'm just going to wait a little bit and I'm going to run and go do something real quick. I'm going to let a couple of more people come in. Welcome in, welcome in. So give me just a minute. Hey there, welcome in. Welcome in. Okay, so y'all, this is where the fun part begins. So with this root chakra meditation, I know I'm always kind of flip my hair because I try to look for different hairstyles and I can kind of see what's working for me and what's not. So this is where the fun part begins with the root chakra meditation. So after you've done, I'm going to say maybe 2 days consistently, maybe 3 days consistently with the meditation and saying your affirmations out loud, focusing on the foods like I made spaghetti or lasagna soup. So it's a red based sauce, but it's focused. It'll help me focus on my root chakra. So this is when you start to experience the class. It integrates into your life because you are uprooting some frequencies and you're moving some things in the area of the root chakra. So when you focus on frequency, energy, and vibration this week of the root chakra, then there's some things that are going to come up in your life. For instance, I'm going to give you an example of what happened for me today. Now, I was working and somebody said something that I didn't particularly agree with. But in my mind, this thought came to my mind that said, respond differently so that you can see what the different result will be. And I did respond differently. And the result turned out to make me, this was a really, really, really good day. I had a lot of big things happen for me today. And I feel as if I allowed a new perspective to enter my consciousness, and I chose to follow the new perspective. The new perspective was a positive perspective, and I chose to follow that positive perspective instead of staying stuck in this very firm, rooted attitude or energy that I'd always been in when a situation like this would come up, right? So I challenged myself in this moment, look at this in a different way, change your perception a little bit. Don't respond in the same way that you usually respond. That's not getting you anywhere. In order to get different results, you got to do something different. Change your mind. You don't have to stay acting like the same way you stayed acting yesterday if it doesn't serve you. It wasn't something that caused me problems that I'm aware of. I'm sure it did, But what happened was when I changed that little bitty perspective, it was a domino effect. And for the whole day, it was win after win after win after win after win. And I feel like it was because I changed my perspective in something that I would normally just keep this dogmatic, Taurus like, stubborn ass energy. But I said, I don't want to do that anymore. So let me just go this other way and respond to this person in this way, which was a softer rub, a softer touch, a softer way of handling something that I wanted. Whether it was right or whether it was wrong, it was the way I saw it. But I handle it to completely differently. And after that, then the tidal waves of win after win after win after win after win. And I'm still in that energy, right? And it feels good. So when you recognize when something comes up in your experience, in your life, in your circumstances, in your relationships, in your way of being, in your thought processes, when something comes up differently, explore it. See what it's going to do for you, because this class is, it's a living and it's an active class. This is not a class where we just sit down and we write on the chalkboard, um, and we discuss. This is, now we're going out into the world and we're recognizing when something comes up in our lives that is coming up for a reason, because we're working on the energy and the frequency of our root chakra. And so these are the secrets of the universe: energy, frequency, and something else, right? So we're focused on the energy and frequency of our root chakra. So things are going to come up. Now, even if things come up that are not lighthearted, they're more dense, they're heavier, you definitely want to close out the cycle with that, so that it will lighten you up, so that you can rise above it, so that it is no longer an obstacle. So you move the rock out of the way, right? It's just learning to see things from a slightly different perspective so that you can welcome in a new energy. Because the old energy, the old stagnant energy, or the stagnant ways of being, or the stagnant things that, like, I could say a lot. Welcome in, welcome in. So I was just talking about releasing the stagnant ways of being. As we're working on the root chakra, there are going to be some things that come up in our lives that is going to ask us to see something a different way, to see it from a different perspective, to see it from a different angel, to see it from a different angle. We don't have to keep the same angles anymore. We've experienced those angles. Those angles did what they needed to do when they did what they needed to do. But now we're moving into a new way of being. So when a thought comes up to say, look at it this way, look at it another way. Because for me, it led me down a very beautiful road of win after win after win after win today. So I was just talking about welcome in, welcome in. And I haven't said this in a while, but if I say anything you like, give me a thumbs up. Drop some chats in the chat box. I love to talk to y'all. I love to really see how y'all are doing during this meditation. So again, it's going to be about what's coming up in your life that is asking for you to close out a cycle, but close it out in a way that is highly beneficial. Close it out in an energy of peace, and an energy of love, and an energy of acceptance, and an energy of growth, spiritual growth. This is the whole purpose. We want to spiritually grow. So we want to allow the circumstances and situations to come up this week from our root chakra that needs to be closed out, and so that you can see things from a different perspective. Because as we all know, we've been living in an illusion, right? So people have created illusions over your mind and over the way that you see things in order to keep you stuck. Now that we know that that's what we've been up against, now we can go back and reframe those situations and circumstances that kept us bound to things that we don't want. Now we can release ourselves from them and let go, and we can just fly like a butterfly, right? Now, um, another thing that Spirit wanted me to share with you all, and this is one of the most pivotal revelations that I've had in this whole spiritual journey process. And it's one of the most, I would say it is the most important. It is the single handedly the most important thing you want to know. And that is who you allow in your inner circle will absolutely make you or break you. And the way that I had to look at my life was who I evaluated every individual, every human being that wanted or was accustomed to being in my life. And I evaluated, what did this person deposit into my life? And was it good? And if I recognized that it wasn't good, a good deposit, and it was harmful, then I let them go. And I let them go in the energy of love. There's no hate, there's no fighting, there's nothing. So I'm moving on in another way, and everybody can do what they want to do. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to evolve spiritually, most people are going to fall off, and you have to be willing to walk the journey alone, solo dolo. And it's the absolute best journey I've ever been on. I'm so grateful. I'm so honored. I'm so blessed to be able to have had the opportunity to take the road less traveled. I've been on this road since I was 16 years old, and I had no idea I was on the road, but I was. And if you're on this channel, you have been on the road also. And this road has been a hard road, but this is a road that has been pruning us and sculpting us and molding us into the exact human beings that we came down here to be. We came down here on an assignment. And the most important thing is to learn what the assignment is and to get on the assignment. But before you can do that, you've got to let go of everybody, every mindset, everything that hinders you and that holds you back. We were all created to shine, every last one of us. And it is a matter of who's going to believe that God created a little God in us. This is what you have to understand. We are source, we are energy frequencies, and we've decided to take on these flesh bodies to have a human experience, to learn something, to evolve our souls. So when we go back to be with the Most High, we have added to the beauty of the world in our individual, unique experience on this earth. This is my gift back to God, me, all my flaws and all, every last one of them. Because I worked to overcome them. There's no shame in that. And I don't want anybody to have any shame about having this life experience, because that is the whole purpose we came down here. We have to have the polarity. We have to have the darkness in order to appreciate the light. We have to have ignorance in order to come into intelligence. We have to have been hated in order to really, really love love. That's what this life is about, balancing the polarities and understanding I can't be all nice. I had to learn that lesson in this lifetime, because when people think you all nice, they will try to run over you. So I had to have an experience of finding my balance so that I can know how to defend myself when people want to come for me. Those are my lessons on this earth plane. I didn't come here to play. It might have looked like it sometimes, But I didn't come here to play. I came here to learn the lessons, but I had to live the life as a human being in order to understand and appreciate the lessons. Or I could have used my time and squandered it away and didn't learn anything. I chose to use every single lesson, every single relationship, every single failure, every single loss, every single disappointment, every single joy, every single goal I met, every single achievement, every single happiness. I chose to use it for my highest and greatest good because I want my daughter to experience a good life. So if I want my daughter to experience a good life, I need to put some good seeds in the ground because this is how it works. Regardless to how people told you it works, no matter how long it takes, your seeds will bear a harvest of whatever you put in the ground. You cannot bypass these universal laws. Whatever you put into the universe is going to come back to you after it expands, right? So you're going to put a watermelon seed. We know how big a watermelon seed is. You put a watermelon seed into the earth, what comes back? You get a big, maybe 5 to 8, 10 pound, one watermelon, and there's plenty of those. So whatever you put into the earth, it might take a long time, but that means that your harvest is going to be that much greater. The thing about it is people want to skip steps, or they want to take somebody else's very hard learned lessons and think they can just take them for themselves. No, it doesn't work like that. And if you haven't learned that you can't just take something that belongs to somebody else as your own, you're going to learn it in 2024. These are the lessons. You know how when you pray to God and you don't hear nothing, and it's like, wait a minute, are my prayers getting heard? Are my prayers, what's going on? When the teacher is quiet, you're being tested. So you have to trust and depend on who you are to walk you through the darkness. And that's why you need to get to know yourself. That's why you need to get to know what makes you tick, what makes you laugh, what hurts you, what inspires you, what makes you afraid. What do you like to eat? What do you like to drink? What do you like to do for fun? What type of people do you like to be around? Do you like to be around people that support you and help you and encourage you? Or do you want to be around people that all they doing behind your back is talking about you? That's the old way of doing things. That is a grown up in a child's body. I want to use the time that God has given me to build something, not to tear somebody down, but then that lets you know what side these people are on. You can always tell, how God feels about you or what side you're on. It's what seeds have you planted. It's just that easy. And people are walking around here thinking, I don't know if God loves me and I don't know if I've done right. What seeds have you planted? And that's how you answer the question yourself. Nobody has to judge you. You can look at your own life and say, what seeds have I sown? Have I been good, kind, gracious, merciful, or have I tried to destroy somebody's life for no reason? And those are the gifts and the harvest that you get. And that has nothing to do with nobody else. It's what each individual person sowed. It's not about, I was going to say, it's not about people looking at you, but there's still, like we talked about, there's the quantum field. I'm in this room, but there are different fields within this room. My eyes are not, I don't know what the word is. They're not focused in order to see through the different quantum fields, but there are other energies in this room that I cannot see with my eyeballs, but I can perceive them with my clairs. So nothing's hidden, regardless if you thought it was or not. You wasn't getting away with nothing. Nothing is hidden. Now, if you knew nothing was hidden, then you would have lived a different life because you would have known that's what I was doing. Or, I got scared early on in life. I have been on this journey for a very long time. So I've had different experiences to scare me straight, not to do some things. And I already knew that somebody is here watching me all the time. I'm gonna tell y'all a funny story. I'm gonna tell y'all a funny story. I don't know if I should. I'm gonna tell y'all a funny story because it's funny. Like, and I told Cammy this story. So the funny story is, I don't know if I want to tell y'all this funny story. Okay, I'm gonna shade it up a little bit, but I'm gonna still give y'all the funny story. The funny story is, I wanted to do something that I knew I should not have done. Um, Nobody would have been proud of it, not even me, after it was done. And I wanted to do it really bad, but I could not do it. Lord, I wanted to do it so bad. It was like a fantasy of mine, right? And I got the worst talking to that I ever experienced in my life. And that's how I knew that I was not alone. I wasn't alone. I've never been alone. And most people don't really want to talk about this, the truth of the matter, that we're spirit beings, we're having a heavenly experience, and particularly the 144,000 have always and will always have private bodyguards that other people cannot see. That's just how it is. Um, and so when I wanted to do those things that I knew I shouldn't do, I knew I couldn't do them. I literally could not do them. And it was a battle as a teenager to want to be free and say, but it was like, no, you cannot. We do not. And that scared me straight. So there was a lot of times where I wanted to go all the way to the left, but I was pulled back. And I'm so glad. Thank God I was. But anywho, hey Lance, how are you? Um, Yeah, so it's been a really good live. Thanks for popping in. We were speaking about the root chakra and recognizing the things that are coming up in our lives as a result of stirring up that root chakra energy. Um, Little bit of change in perspective in order to yield a different result from the energy frequency around you. See, this is not about manipulating other people to get what you want from them. It's about manipulating the energy or utilizing the energy to work in my favor, which hurts nobody, right? And everybody does it whether they know it or not. So, if you have a low vibratory frequency, you're gonna attract those energies. If your frequency is high, you're gonna attract those energies. And the goal is always to climb Jacob's ladder. Yes, yes, and yes. Another thing I wanted to share with you guys as we're going through this week, focusing on the root chakra, I noticed that I'm very much aware of different smells. So this may be something that you may be aware of, right? What is it called? It's something about getting in the programming system and just changing it. Just like if you need to delete something, just go into the programming and delete it and it's gone. We are what computers were made after. We just now are learning how to program and reprogram ourselves to what we want. And that's exciting that we're not stuck to any ways of being that we thought we had to be stuck with. And that is what gets me back to the root chakra meditation. The perception that you see things, even very small changes or very small ways of being, can take you to a whole new timeline. And that's very exciting because we can just decide what we want, where we want to be, and we can begin to live that, and that's where we'll be. How beautiful is that? How beautiful is that? Let's see. Another thing, working on this root chakra, y'all, it is attracting stuff to me that, it's just a pleasure. So I love doing this because, some things are going to come up that might not be so sweet. We have to work through the darkness as well as the light, and both of them are equally as important. um, I happen to be in a season of light right now. I've gone through a lot of seasons of darkness. So I am encouraging you, if you are in that season of darkness, keep going, because your season of light comes after the darkness. Exactly. That's so true. And most people do, if they are able to do it. And so that's funny that you say that, Lance. It really cracks me up now how people do it, because most people aren't really paying attention to how people attempt to control, just out of the sheer energy, because they can. But a lot of people are definitely waking up to how other people control them. And so this is a very good time. This is a very amazing time in history. I'm so glad to be here. Now, let's see. That's it. I mean, that's what I have for this week. The root chakra meditation has given me some really, really, really good feels, some really, really good vibes. If you have not taken the opportunity to listen to the meditation in the morning or at night, preferably at night, right before you go to bed, it's only 15 minutes, and watch and see what comes up in your life. I'm like totally digging the energy that I'm in at this time while we're focusing on the root chakra. Lance, I made some lasagna soup tonight, particularly because it's red. And so I'm sending that red energy to my root chakra so we can dig up any energies that don't serve my highest and greatest good. And I hope you jump in and join us as well. But that is what I have for you guys today. It has been a pleasure as always. Thank you, Lance, for jumping in. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Yes, yes. And I like to do that. I believe on one of those root chakra meditations, the roots go all the way down into the center of the earth. And so that's going to get you very good and stable. So thank you, everyone. And as I always say, namaste.